What's up everyone? I have a super cool star pack combo for you today. If you have the star pack you can use this. I am currently playing it in customs however, and it involves the Pelican plus the Swordfish. The basic premise is that the Swordfish, as you might already know, kills itself with its own ability unless you have something like a pepper to complement it. But what we will do with this build is actually let it kill itself, then we will have the Pelican swallow it. So what happens is basically the Swordfish triggers its ability, then the Pelican swallows its whole stats and then it spits out the original stat line as a salmon. So you basically get to double dip on the stat line and you get to deal an insane amount of snipes. I think that ends up being like almost 200 damage, I think it is, which is pretty good. It outperforms double level 2 or double level 3 even 50-50 leopard, so that is quite incredible in my opinion. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult to set up and it requires a lot of lives, so we're going to be trying to not lose any in the early game as we pick up an Ogopogo and a Stork. I found that having the Wyvern is going to be super beneficial for us because we're looking for some very particular tier 5 and tier 6 pets. And let's not forget the scaling as well, because this kind of build really likes the scaling, because not only does the Swordfish scale on its own attack, but also the salmons that the Pelican spits out, they also scale on attack. So we really want to get as many stats as possible. But for now, as I said, the premise is just to not lose, and we're grading in the process. We're finding double weasel, which is incredibly good for us, going to generate 2 gold every single turn. We even have the choice of combining them if we really want to, because the Ogopogo is going to get it up to level 2 anyway. But yeah, for now, let's see if we manage to find some extra levels. It's going to be super good for us. We find an Ogopogo right here. We could save it or we could use it. I think I was pretty happy getting the level right here because it resulted in a Manta Ray. Manta Ray, extremely good pet, it gives you a lot of gold, and most importantly the stat line is very good as well. It's a 5-6. You can see here we're not using the ability because, as I said, we really want to be saving lives. But it's very nice to have the option still of maybe going 4 squad for a single turn and getting some extra gold as a result. Thankfully, because we had 5 pets there, however, we managed to draw, which is exactly what we want. We get a weasel level up into another Manta Ray, perfect gold efficiency right there. Would it have been a better idea for me to use the level next turn where we can potentially get a Swordfish or a Pelican or stuff like monkeys? I'm not really sure, but I am winning for now, so I will not be complaining with this result. Here we're going to continue looking for one thing in particular, that being the Manta Ray. If we can manage to find the level, we'll be extremely happy. Unfortunately, that is the only thing that we're looking for. We'll be rolling past all other things, and if we manage to get lucky, we can get it in half a turn. But right here you can see me spending all of the gold that I had stashed, and thankfully at least we get it with the final 3 gold remaining. So here we go, we find a Swordfish in the level up, which we're going to freeze. Maybe put it in the team next turn, maybe we go 4 squad next turn just to make sure that we get that extra 4 gold from the Manta Ray. Here I'm just trying to position, trying not to lose once again. Our team is very weak, but at the same time we have not been winning too much, which means we will be going up against worst opponents. And you can see it right here, we get yet another draw, very luckily. That Stork has been putting in so much effort with that extra 1 summon. I think we have clutched up several draws already. That being said, we are going to sell it. We are going to sell the Ogopogo as well, maybe, just to get that extra gold. Yup, we can even put the strawberry prematurely. We even have double crow in the shop, which I think I'm going to be interested in. Getting a level 2 crow means an almost instant level 2 tier 6 unit, which there are a lot of in my custom pack that can be very good for us to have. So that will be what we're aiming for on this turn. We have 22 gold, we are going to spend 6 on the crows. and the rest we are just going to roll away. So hopefully we find what we need. With the Wyvern level 2, it's going to be more likely than not that we find whatever we need. I even skip a Pelican right there for the Crow because I think that's number one priority. And here we find one of the pets which I would like to have, that being the sauropod. So I'm going to calculate a little bit. This is going to be a kind of difficult operation to do. I think I do try to be cheeky even in the process of me getting this kind of setup, but let's see. I was calculating that we don't have enough gold to buy the sauropod and the chocolate, so I was considering selling the weasel. But what I ended up actually doing is just pilling the weasel, because now we get 1 extra gold for the sauropod and then 2 extra gold for the weasel next turn. But unfortunately that still means we cannot buy the chocolate on this turn, which I think is going to be fine. We're going to most likely lose, almost definitely. But we have an excellent setup for the future. And you can see, even though we are very weak, we are also facing off against very weak opponents as well. That was an elephant blowfish with the lowest amount of stats I have ever seen. But that's no big deal, we still lose, we are on 3 hearts, and we can hopefully find another tier 6 that can complement this sauropod, and here it is. It's the Bird of Paradise, which we are going to be extremely happy to have. Yet another Bird of Paradise and sauropod from the level ups. Which one are we going to take? You can take either, to be honest, and I think either would be a good option, but because I have a cow frozen, I was leaning more so towards the sauropod. And also another cool thing we can do with a sauropod is that if we get it up to level 2 in the middle of the turn, it's going to reset the trigger. So that is one thing that I'm interested in doing. Here we're going to buff up the sauropod a little bit. This manta ray is going to be a little bit problematic for us in the future, so we're looking to get rid of it, but for now it can stay. It is an 11-12 after all. But you can see I am considering selling it. When you have a Bird of Paradise, you really want to have 4 pets, and the 3 of the other pets that we have alongside with the Bird of Paradise are going to be pivotal to the build, so we really want to sell it. Not this turn, however. Hopefully we're going to win because of it. Let's take a look. Very weak looking team, and when we have a level 2 swordfish, you can see it already doing quite a little bit of work. It managed to take out their strongest unit, which we love to see. Now we're going to get a level 2 sauropod, resulting in nothing too good, unfortunately. Elephant, seal and alpaca are both mediocre for us, so we don't really care. What we're looking for ideally is actually more sauropods, so we can start digging for a lot of gold every single turn. And here we go, I managed to find one. It's kind of difficult to do this kind of strategy right here when you want to buy sell a crow, but you also want a sauropod on the team for the extra little bit of gold. It's fine, however. You can see me looking at the tiger right here because I want to double up on the swordfish ability, but I think just having double sauropod will be better for us. We can take that next turn. We are going to freeze another strawberry. Now that the pelican is level 2, we actually want to have double units with strawberry, because at level 2 the pelican is able to swallow 2 pets instead of 1. The other pretty interesting thing about this build is that you actually want the pelican to have more attack than the swordfish, otherwise the combo is not going to work. You probably saw it on this turn. If the swordfish has more HP, then the swordfish kills itself and then the pelican is unable to swallow it. So what you really want to be doing is actually let the pelican swallow first by it having more attack, and then the swordfish can decide to deal an insane amount of damage, and then you get the best of both worlds. For now though, we'll have to work a little bit on that. We're still not there yet, but I think we should be comfortably winning, especially against teams like this one. They're trying to shop scale because we are at low amount of wins. We have entered into the draw pool. But that is excellent news for us. We're going to work on scaling a little bit ourselves. We get a 3rd strawberry on the team. Strawberry actually pretty nice because it refunds itself when you have double level 2 sauropod. For the same reason we're going to buy a gingerbread man. and finish off on an avocado. So next turn is shaping up to be pretty good. We have level 3 swordfish waiting for us potentially, but instead I chose to use the chocolate on the bird of paradise, which I think is also a pretty sensible play. But yeah, I think we're going to be getting an insane result soon enough. We're almost at the point where the pelican has more HP than the swordfish as well, so that is going to be excellent for us. Here we lose to a Jersey Devil team, nothing new, but it's going to be perfectly fine because I don't think we're going to be losing anymore. Here we take a pancakes onto the bird of paradise, I assume, because the gingerbread is actually quite useless. Then we go for the attempt of level 3 swordfish. We really want 5 more attack on the pelican, but I also forgot to put any targeted food in the pack. So we have to rely on something like cornucopia giving us something good like a pretzel or a chicken leg. Here we find one, but I think we should have used it, to be honest, because I can see we had more triggers of the sauropod. That was definitely a misplay, but I think our team is in a pretty good spot regardless, so I don't really mind this. Here we find the pelican finally having more stats than the swordfish, so for the first time ever we actually just get the combo off, and you can see how absolutely destructive it is. We're going to continue scaling up. Here is the chicken leg, which we're going to put on the pelican. Widen the gap of stats between the two units even more. They're eventually both going to hit 50-50, I believe, but in the meantime we want to guarantee that the pelican goes first. Here we're actually going to use some Competo on the guys that we have in order to transform them into some pretty strong tier 6s with in-battle abilities. We have stuff like leopard you can see in the shop, behemoth, I believe lionfish is also in here, so a lot of good selections we can potentially hit. But for now we just get another bird of paradise and hopefully we continue to destroy. On turn 15 this team has no more than 10 stats on any individual unit, so we get to destroy them quite easily. More Competos, or more cornucopia rather, hopefully finding Competo as a result. Unfortunately this one is a celery. What is going to be the other one? It's going to be another celery. I think it's better than the hot dog just because we don't want to disrupt the attack order we have already. But yeah, pelican hitting 50-50. Swordfish maybe also hitting 50-50 by the end of the turn. Here we're looking for cornucopia once again or fountain of youth. Unfortunately we find neither. And yeah, now that the swordfish is 50-50 as well as the pelican, is actually a 50-50 shot if we get the correct order or not. I think on this turn we actually hit it, which you love to see. This team is extremely scary, but we managed to defeat them. The 3 salmons claim the victory for us. And yeah, we're coming up on the victory. If possible, I would also like to Competo the final sauropod. I have a water reviewed in the shop, which we're going to use. We find the behemoth instead of the bird of paradise, which I think is going to be the better option for us. And yeah, all that we need to transform now is the sauropod. And here we go, we find a Competo, it turns into a phoenix. Phoenix could be better, could be a lionfish, could be a leopard, but I kinda like phoenix as well, so we're going to keep this composition. And yeah, I'm trying to position in such a way that the pelican can swallow the bird of paradise, just in case the swordfish kills itself, we get to swallow 3 units still. On this turn it doesn't happen though, we still get to deal 150 damage and get to swallow the swordfish after, spitting it back out as a 50-50, and then we get to destroy. It's a beautiful sight, to be honest with you. But yeah, I believe this is going to be the final turn. I'm not really looking for anything, we have all that we want for the build. And yeah, we're going to be ending this off, so I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I really hope that you like, sub, do all the generic stuff, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.